Okay. So as you can see, your assignment, it's a 50% is the value of your assignments, because I replace your assignments with your midterm, right? I already replaced your assignments with midterm. I mean midterm exam, so you don't have midterm exam. So we have you have only assignments. Okay, and this is your release date, which was yesterday. As I mentioned you in the previous session that I will deliver your assignments on Thursday. So yesterday was Thursday, which was 9th of April. And your submission deadline is 20th April, all right? And you have more than 10 days, which is nearly 11 days, all right? So before we move on to each and every questions, this is very important information for you, right? This is the general information that you have to read before your assignment submission, right? So I'm gonna read for you. So this is, of course, it's a group assignment, right? It's not a individual assignments, it's a group. So you already send me your monitor, class monitor already send me the group, your group members, right? This could be 4, 5, or some of group maybe have a 3 members, but you know that it's like 3 members to 5 members. So 4 to 5, 3 to 5, that's not a problem. Okay, the important thing is that individual submission of these assignments is not allowed, all right? Remember, if you are in a group, one assignments, no matter you have a 3 members, 4 member, or 5 members. Someone send me a message that who are you? What do you mean by who are you? Okay, so individual submission of this assignment is not allowed and will severely penalized, which means if your group member, if your group has a, let's say 4 members, all right, and you submit 4 assignments, all right, you will lose your marks. Just one group, one assignment. Everybody understand? Okay, one group, one assignments. Okay. Next is assignments contribution section, right, which is on the next page, page number 3. All right, this one is your page number 3. All right, so this assignment contribution section in the form must be filled individually by each members, right? So all the members, they have to fill this form, right? This form is about assignment contribution section. I mean, means what is your contribution in this assignment. So which means what you have done in this assignment, right? Maybe question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. Two students can do question 1. It is all about your efforts, your work, and your contribution, right? So let's say this is the student name, right? Your student ID, and here is your contribution. Second student, let's say second group member, here your name, here is your ID, and here your contribution. So I made around 6 columns. So for 6 students, all right? So no any group has a 6 students, but anyway I will make it 6 in any case if any group has a 6 members. All right, so that is very important. All right, and here group name, you have to tell your group name, maybe A, B, C, D, whatever is your group name. All right, so here is your group name, so I can understand from which groups you are belong. All right, and here is your uh, member, right? Group members, right? Um, okay. One more thing. Besides group member, you also tell me your class, all right? You are from CLC, CLC1 or CLC2 or CLC3 or class 05. 05 is the normal program, whoever program you belongs to. So you tell the group number and your class, CLC1, 2, or 3 if you are from high quality, right? And 05 if you are from a normal program, right? So keep in your mind this thing. So that is your assignments contribution. Everybody understand about this second requirements, assignment contribution? Any question regarding assignments contribution? Anybody has any question regarding second assignments contribution? Please say something. Anybody has any question? Anybody has any question? Please say something, yes or no. Okay, so quickly you reply your reply, or don't let me wait. Okay. Okay, so third requirement is that please take a note that copying of the work of others, allowing others to copy your work and or attempting to do any other above mentioned will result in automatic failure of your assignment. So which means you copy from some other students or you allow other students to copy your work. In this case, you will automatic failure, means you fail this assignment. What does it mean? It means if I found one group member work match with another group member, you both group will fail, means you both will get 0 marks, no any marks for this midterm. All right, so please be careful about this thing. Do not help some other group members, so let them do. Right, you just do your work. Right, so which means keep your work confidential. Do not share your information with other group members. Do not help other group members. Keep your work secret. Right. Okay, so they said that participate in the Zoom meeting more than 100 people. Okay. Oh yeah, I understand because we can allow Zoom allow only 100 students. So what I will do, because I'm recording this session, if your students, if your group members, other students, they cannot join this if they cannot join this session, that's fine because I'm recording this session. So you can watch this session later. So in our next session, next meeting, I will switch to another way of online teaching, maybe no more Zoom because we have only 100 students limitations here. All right, so for this time, we have to continue with the Zoom and students can watch a recording session, all right? Okay. and the students who cannot join it, so you inform them if they have any question, so please send me email. So through emails I can help them to solve their queries. All right. Okay, so keep in your mind, so plagiarism, copy paste from other places or from other students, you gonna lose your grades, or maybe you get zero grades, right? Another thing is that if you use any textbook to do some question, right, or you use any journals or any other publication, you need to give a reference, right? You need to give a reference in these assignments if you are using some other resources. All right, please do not copy paste from Google. If I found you copy paste from Google, because your question, your fourth question, this question is about discussion based question, this question is not no more calculation. All right, if I found you uh, copy and paste information from Google, you lose your marks. Maybe you get 0 marks for your question 4, right? So the idea is that do not copy paste anything from anywhere, all right? You read that information, you paraphrase it. Paraphrase means you write in your own words, you write in your own sentences, and you also give the reference, all right? So keep in your mind this thing, do not copy paste. And in your question 4, whatever question I ask you in your question 4, because in question 4 you have a 4 parts, A, B, C, D. So all the question answer should be related to the information that I provided you in my class. All right, question, I will come to this question later, but just keep in your mind, if you are writing something in your question 4 that I did not explain you, right, that I didn't talk at all, that kind of information you are mentioning in your question 4, you're more likely to lose your marks for it. All right, because I prepare question 4 as per the information that I provided you in the class. All right, but if any information which is out of context, you are giving me that information, you will lose marks for it. All right, do not write something unnecessary. All right, if you're writing unnecessary, I repeat, you lose your marks. Keep in your mind this thing. All right, so that's all about question 3, I mean requirement 3. Anybody has any question regarding requirement 3? Any question? No question. Okay, so now we move on to number 4. Okay, so number 4 is about late submission. Of course, you cannot submit your assignments after 20th of April, right? If you will submit your assignments, I think you cannot submit, because there is no any submission button. Submission button will not work after 20th April. But in case if it's working, I will not accept, I will not mark your assignments if you submit your assignments after due date. All right, so it means automatically you get 0 marks, right? No late submission. Number 5. Number 5 is you submit your group only through learning management system, all right? If you have learning management system, which is class 05, right? Which is normal program, right? And high quality students, which is CLC 1, 2, and 3. You all will submit through FHQLMS. Normally, the platform which normally I provide you information. Right? I already created submission dates for you. Just submit over there. Don't ask me again, teacher, I have to submit LMS or FQLMS. Right? Whatever platform I use it to communicate with you, which is LMS for normal program and FHQLMS from the high quality program. You use these platforms to submit your assignments. All right. Another important things, do not submit your assignments by sending me email. All right. I will not accept any kinds of email for your assignment submission. All right. Don't say that, teacher, I cannot submit learning management system because of due date, so I'm sending you email. If you send me email, you submit your assignments through email, I will give you 0. Of course, you send me email regarding question, but do not send me your work through emails, right? Just a question. Work you have to submit only through learning management system, right? And number 6 is you have to submit only one file, right? Not 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 files, just one file, right? In one file, of course, that file should be in PDF context or PDF format, right? No Word, no Excel, no PowerPoint, no any other, right? Just PDF, all right? Only one file. I do not need Excel sheets or any other kinds of calculation that you use it through the Excel sheets. I do not need. You just simply make the tables like as you do in the Word documents, and you convert in PDF file, and you submit through PDF file. If I found, so remember, if anybody is submitting assignments through Word formats or through some other formats, I will reduce your marks. I mean, you're going to lose, you're more likely to lose your marks if you submit your assignment through some other options, all right? Just one file, all right? All the information is in that file, all right? Tables or whatever, all right? Everybody understand? For your 6 requirement. All right. So now anybody has any questions before we move on to the assignments question? Any questions regarding this general information? No question, okay. All right, so general information is finished. Now move on to the, you know that assignment contribution section that I already explained you. You have to contribute what you have done in this assignment, your contribution, your question, you write here, right? Now move on to the first question. So keep in your mind, in your assignments, you have 4 questions, right? You have 4 questions, and each question carries equal marks, right? Equal marks, which is 12.5. Each question 12.5. So you have 4 questions. So which means these assignments contain 50% marks, right? Because 50% will be your final exam, right? So 4 questions, each question is 12.5 marks. So you have to attempt all questions. You have to attempt 4 questions, right? In this 4 question, 3 question is about calculation and some discussions or comments, right? And 1 question is only about comments or only about discussion, which is theory, right? So keep it in mind. So first question. So first question is about activity-based costing and traditional costing method, right? So this is the informations you have, right? All the kinds of informations. Okay. So you have all kinds of information here. So keep in your mind at the end of the question here, I am giving you information about applied overheads, right? Which is for product inch is this and product person is this, right? So 500,000 yen and 2,000 yen, right? So this is your applied information that you may need to do your these requirements, right? Okay. So the first requirements, which is evaluate potential for use of ABC, and traditional costing with suitable examples, right? So you have to calculate, of course, using both method, ABC and traditional, right? And this question contain 8 marks. 8 marks means 4 marks for ABC and 4 marks for traditional, right? So this is your calculations for first requirements. Second one is find whether overhead is under or over applied for both methods. So for ABC, for inch, under or over, for Poisson, under or over, right? Same thing for traditional, for inch, under, over, or Poisson, under, over, right? So these questions contain 2 marks. 1 marks for ABC, over, under, for 2 products, and 1 mark for traditional, inch and Poisson, over and under. Third one is compare and contrast that which method is better and why. Is contrast, not contract, contrast. All right, contrast. So compare and contrast that which method is better, or you have to tell me ABC is better or traditional is better, and you have to explain why. All right, so this question is about theory or comments or discussion, right? This method, this question is about discussion, right? So the marks are 2.5 marks for this question, all right? So question 1 is finished. So you have 3 requirements for question 1. First requirement about calculation for ABC traditional, second requirement over and under, and third requirement which method is better. So which means that the third part is all about theory, all about discussion, right? So question 1 is finished. Anybody has any question? Do we have these questions on LMS? What do you mean by do we have this question on LMS? You mean your assignments? Your assignments I already upload on Learning Management System, right? The student, she asked me questions that do we have these question on LMS? Yeah, so, okay, if you got it. All right, so this is your question 1. So anybody has any question regarding question 1? Or we move on to question 2? Can we move on to question 2? Okay. So question 2 is about requirement 1. What do you mean by requirement 1? You did not understand requirement 1? Requirement 1, simply you have to calculate ABC. I mean, you have to allocate cost using ABC. Yes, requirement 1 is a calculation. Allocate cost using ABC and allocate cost using traditional method. That's your requirement 1, is only calculations, right? So requirement 1 is a calculation. Total FOH. No, you have to calculate total cost, not only total overheads, all right? Total cost, which means direct material, direct labor, and overheads. This direct material and direct labor, material and labor is given. Of course, you don't have to do anything with it, all right? Just you need to calculate using ABC and traditional costing. You just need to calculate this. And once you got this, and this, you add them all. So this is your answer. right? For ABC, answer, traditional, answer, right? So remember, total cost, material, labor, overheads. Material and labor, you already have in a question, so you don't have to do anything. You don't need to calculate material and labor, right? Just you need to calculate overhead cost. Did you understand? Everybody understand? Okay. So now move on to question 2. Question 2 is about LIFO, FIFO, and moving average method, all right? In this question, of course, you have information given, right? 5 months information is given, right? Some received and issued, which means in and out, right? So you have information about in and out on the different dates with the different quantity and different prices, right? Now, in your question, you do not have information about opening stock, all right? So your first requirement is, like as we did in the class, calculate, uh, if you can find the closing stock or the stock left at the end of November or end of 5th month using LIFO, FIFO, and moving average method, right? So this is only about calculation, right? So make sure you draw a table or nice presentation for this one so I can easily understand, I can easily read your question. So do not make it so complicated so I do not understand, all right? Remember, no matter what questions you have, your final answer is important, of course, but not just final answer. I will not only give you marks looking at the final answer, I will give you marks as per the steps, right? If things are readable, make sense, presentation goods, you get good marks, all right? If your information is so complicated, but your answer is right, your information is so complicated, I have a trouble to read and understand your information, of course, you get low marks or maybe 0 marks. It depends upon your presentation. So the idea is that keep your presentation very clear, very simple. Do not choose any other complicated way to present or calculate your question. All right. So the way that I mentioned you in my previous teaching, keep it simple as you can. Do not make your assignment so complicated. All right. So keep in your mind this thing. All right. So these questions, requirements 1 and 2. So requirement 1 contain 9 marks. So means 3 methods, 3 marks each, right? So only calculation. So you don't have to theory or commence anything in the first question. Now, second question is explain the difference among LIFO, FIFO, and moving average method, and which methods provide the best physical flow of units. So which means which method is more likely to use by the organizations and why. All right. So second question is about discussion based question. All right. So I repeat, in these second requirements, you have to explain the difference among LIFO, FIFO, and moving average method. You can give me difference in a table, 5 difference, 6 difference, or you can explain difference in a paragraph. It depends upon you. But LIFO, FIFO, and moving average difference among all these 3 methods, right? Theory-based, discussion-based. If you like, you can show the numbers using your requirements 1, if you want, right? I repeat, use your requirements 1 to explain the difference if you want, right? But it's merely about discussion, merely about the theoretical explanation of this statement. And which method is the best? LIFO is the best, FIFO is the best, and moving average from your point of view, right? Some of students can argue that LIFO is better than FIFO and moving average. Some student can argue that FIFO is better than LIFO and moving average, and some student can argue that moving average is better than LIFO and FIFO. It completely depends upon your personal statements, your personal ideas to analyze these requirements too, right? So that's all about your question 2. Question 2 is finished. Any question regarding question 2? No questions, so we move on to question 3. Okay. So question 3 is about direct distribution method and step down method, which means allocation of service department costs to the production department, right? So in this question, you have some service department, you have some other departments, right? So this one is a service department. Here is the service department. Here is the service department. Here is a non-service department, right? So which means you're gonna allocate service department cost to these departments, right? So this is the allocations, different allocation is given, right? All the information is given. And this is the cost, which is these, of course, these costs from the service department, right? So you have to allocate these 3 costs among these 3 non-service department using, this is the base, right? This is the allocation based, right? Using allocation based, you have to allocate these 3 numbers among these 3 department using these 3 different allocation base, all right? So this is your question 3 scenario, right? Now, what are the requirements for question 3? In your question 3, you have to allocate service department costs to the direct patient care departments and using only 2 methods, right? Direct distribution method and step down method, right? In this question, you do not need to apply third method, which is algebraic method or reciprocal method. So no algebraic method, only direct distribution method. This is direct distribution, right? Direct distribution, right? Direct distribution method and step down method, only 2 methods. So you have only one requirements calculations, right? Which contains 12.5 marks, all right? You don't have to explain it. You do not need to give any kinds of some comments, some discussion, some theory. Don't need that, all right? But if you think you want to explain it, that's completely your choice, but that's not the requirements, all right? So that's all about your question 3. All right, so make sure you read this information before you start doing calculations, right? Read whatever information is given in your each question scenario, right? Don't just directly start with your question. Try to read question, understand your question, read information, read again your information, and then you start working on your calculations, right? So that's all about question 3. Question 3 is finished. Anybody has any question regarding question 3? So any question? Or move on to question 4? Okay, so move on to question 4. So question 4, as I mentioned you in the beginning, that question 4 is only about discussion based. All right, it's a discussion based question. So there's no any requirements, there's no any numbers and calculation given that you have to calculate. All right, so it's merely about discussion and theoretical based question. All right, so you have 4 question. All right. So first questions contain 3.5 marks. Second questions contain 2.5 marks. Third question also 3.5 marks, and question 4 is 3 marks questions. All right. So now remember, whatever information you are providing in this 4 question, do not simply copy and paste. As I said, if I found you copy paste from either textbook or from Google or some other sources, if you simply copy and paste, if in these 4 questions, you will lose marks. All right. Lose marks means you reduce marks, or you can get 0 marks for this question. All right. So please do not copy paste from anywhere else. All right. Try to read, watch my previous videos, whatever informations I provided to you, whatever examples I provided to you, try to use that information in your assignments. Of course, you can read textbook. Of course, you can use internet. I mean, you go to Google. There's no any problem to go to Google and you search. All right. But the idea is that do not copy and paste. All right. You read some information from some internet or from textbook, and you write that information in your own words. We call it paraphrasing. All right. So you paraphrase whatever information you are getting to the textbook or journals or the internet. You paraphrase in your own words, and then you explain. But again, you have to give the reference, no matter you're taking from internet or journal or any other kind of resources. Right. I have a question. How do we evaluate the grades? Depending on how efforts each member put on their individual task, or all the members in the same group will receive? Okay. A student asked me a question that how I gonna give you marks. All right. I think I mentioned you this one before, but again, I repeat again. Here, this sheet will help me to evaluate your marks. Who gonna get what kind of marks? All right. Your individual contribution. All right. So you're gonna write down your contribution here. By reading your contribution, I will give you marks. All right. For example, in one group has 4 students. All right. These 3 students choose 3 calculation question, and 1 student choose theory question. All right. So it doesn't mean that the student is doing theoretical question, which is question 4, will get low marks, because for some student, question 4 is easier than the calculation. No. All students will get equal marks, no matter they are choosing their calculation part or the theory part. The idea is that if this student choose calculation and this student choose theory question, right? I will see if this student presentation is very good, the way that explaining information, and same thing here, question 4, the way that you are explaining, you're presenting your ideas, you're writing the graph and diagrams, whatever, then I will give marks. So both students can get same marks, or this student can get high marks, or this student can get high marks. So the idea is that you have to tell me what you have done here, right? If you will not tell me what you have done, I won't be able to give you marks for it. So this sheet is very, very important. On the behalf of this sheet, I will decide your marks. All right. So make sure you try to explain as much as you can here to give me ideas what exactly you have done in this task. Maybe in one question, so let's say question 1, 3 students done question 1. It's okay, but you have to tell me your contribution. And then finally, after reading all the assignments, I will see which student has a high contribution and which student has a very low or small contribution. All right. If any student has a high contribution, of course, that student will get high marks. The student has a low contribution, have a low marks. So that's why you are a group member. You have to divide your all the tasks equally. You have to divide all the question equally. I'm not saying that you divide 4 questions among 4 students. No, this one question 4 students can do, this question also 4 students can do, this question 4 students can do, and this question 4 students do. All right. But if this first question 4 students are doing, so all the student, they have to tell me, like case member 1, question 1, what do you have done in question 1? Member 2, question 1, what do you have done? So you have to tell me very detailed, in this question you have done this, in this question you have done. If you elaborate more, I will understand more, and I will understand more, I will be more able to give you more fair feedback, fair results, fair grades. But if you are giving me very less, very small information, I may not able to give you very fair grades. So the idea is that if you want fair grades, you have to fill the sheets by giving me much detailed information about your contribution. I hope everybody understand. Okay, so anybody has any questions that how I gonna grade? Say something. How I gonna grade for group members? Anybody has any question? Okay, so yes, so the conclusion is, it's not important that always all student, all group member will have same marks. No, it depends upon your contribution. It depends upon your work. It depends upon your explanations. All right. So now we move back to our question 4. All right. So, so please do not copy paste for your question 4. Try to elaborate, try to present in very good manner so I can read and understand your information very clearly. Don't try to confuse it, right? And of course, if you want, you can show me your example through numbers. All right. You can use some your numbers, you can make your own examples, and you can use some numbers in that examples to present your question 4 ABCD. All right. So it completely depends upon the way that you are explaining. Like as okay. So idea is that economic order quantity, like as I did not explain you any numbers about economic order quantity. You don't have to give me any number about economic order quantity, but of course you can draw a graph about economic order quantity, which is something like this, right? So this is your carrying cost, and this is your ordering cost, and wherever you point meet, this is your EOQ, all right? So such kind of examples, you can use it. What are the carrying costs? What are the ordering costs? Why carrying costs increase as per the number of units, or why ordering costs increase as the number of unit decrease? So that's kind of explanation, because these questions contain 3 marks. So you have to provide me enough information, not just a small paragraph and just finish, right? Remember, this is assignments, right? This is not your exams. In your exams, if you have exam, of course, you have to provide point to point information because you have a less time. But assignments mainly research based, right? And you have a additional time to elaborate things and to present things, right? So the idea is that try to improve the quality of your presentation. Presentation means writing. You present your work, right? Try to read it, try to add information, try to edit it, delete it, means spend your time. Don't think that it's just assignments in half of the day. I will finish my question 4 because it's not so complicated. All right. So if you want to improve the quality of your questions, especially question 4, you have to read more information. You have to spend a lot of time to analyze whether what I can present my question for A, B, C, or D. All right. So take your time equally. All right. no matter question 1, 2, 3, 4, because all questions carry equal marks, right? So give your equal time to all the question. I believe that you will start working your assignments from 2 days. Don't wait for the 1 or 2 days before and you think that, oh, this question is very easy, I can do is 1 day before. All right. So try to allocate, try to make your plans and timetables and everything in order to complete these assignments. All right. And another thing is your English requirements. All right. Uh, of course, this is assignments. You have a time to correct your mistakes. You have a time to read whatever you are doing, because in your exams you may not have enough time to look at your grammatical mistakes or spelling mistake or minor English mistakes. For exams point of view, it's okay, but this is the assignment, so you have a time to fix your mistakes. You have a time to read your task again and again. You read your question again and again. So I believe I will not have any kinds of problem to read your information. So which means it's a grammatically, or your assignment sentence structure and everything should be good. All right. So remember, if your assignments wait. Okay. So keep in your mind, if your assignments information I won't be able to understand, your structure is doesn't make any sense, you have a lots of spelling mistakes, lots of grammatical mistakes, of course you're gonna get low marks. All right. But of course, I'm not looking for perfect English. All right. I'm not looking that. I'm looking information is beautifully presented, information makes sense, appropriate number structure. Your assignment is very good in the structure and the system. You use it to complete your all the tasks. That's what I need. All right. But repeat, I'm not looking for perfect English. No, small mistakes is fine. But the idea is that try your best to improve the quality of your each question. That is that's really important. All right. So that's all about all the question. So anybody has any question regarding this assignments? Please ask me now if you have any question. During this assignment one, if I have any question, can I, yeah, of course, please send me email. All right, like as normally you send email, right? Please send me email to ask me any things that you don't know, but please don't ask me any answer of any question. All right, I'm not gonna give you any answer of any question. All right. And second thing is, if you have any question, before you asking me question, you think again that this question I should ask or not, because sometimes some student, I don't know, some student, I guess in the previous semester or previous another subject, some student, they tell me, the teacher, can you tell me what I have to do in question one? Don't ask me that kind of question. You have a requirements. I already explained you. All right. If you ask me again, teacher, what I have to do in requirement one, question one, and my answer will be go back to video and watch the video. All right. So do not ask me any question that I already answered in this video. All right. So ask me something that you do not understand what exactly meaning, but make sure, but I believe whatever is given in your this assignments, all the information you already done it before. I mean, in my previous video sessions, all the information I already provided you. Whatever question I'm giving you here, this question quite similar with the question that we have practiced in our previous session, no matter Zoom session or YouTube session. All right. So I believe you will not have any problem to understand this scenario, all right? But if you say that, teacher, I do not understand scenario, I can't help you, all right? Because this information is not so complicated to understand, and most of information you know that. But after all, if you have some good questions, so please feel free to ask me that question. All right. Yes, you can ask. So anybody has any other question? We have a problem with the member number. We have a lot of 3 students in a group. This student cannot find more than 3 students. They offer can have 3 students per group. What do you mean? Your group members are 3? You have 3 students in the group? So no problem if you have 3 students. So what's the problem? It's okay. That's what I said in the beginning of lecture. I said no matter 3 to 5, because some students, they said they have 3 group members. Some students, they said have 5, not just 4 to 5, 3 to 5, okay. But of course, 2 are not acceptable and 6 are not acceptable. All right, because 6 you can make it 2 groups, but don't make it group with the 6 students and don't make it group with the 2 students. So 3 to 5, it's okay, but try to keep it 4 to 5. If it's not possible 4, 3, okay. All right, is it okay? Okay. So any other students? We will appoint a representative to submit this article, right? Any group member, let's say in group A, we have, for example, 3 students, right? In these 3 students, anyone can submit. All right, anyone can submit, but again, one group, one submission. Do not 3 students will submit 3 different group work. Understand? I repeat again, one group, one submission. If it's in one group, have 3 members, any students can submit, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. So make sure you decide who will submit, and you ask, because sometimes this student submit and this student also submit, right? Please don't do that. One group, only one student will submit. Anybody can submit, no any problem. But again, when you submit, please tell me your group name. So you can say, the teacher, I'm submitting my assignments, I'm group A. You don't have to tell me your name because your name is already given here. Just tell me your group name here, of course, but at the time of submission, you also send me a message. All right. So I repeat, one group, one submission. Anybody can submit. You decide by yourself who will submit in one group. All right. Did you understand? Okay. So any other questions regarding this topic? Let me check your next lecture. Okay. So you have 1 or 2 more lectures left. All right. So I think you have 2 more session, because we have last topic. Okay, so one student asked me a question that, do we need to present our assignments and essay? What do you mean by an essay? I did not understand your question. Can you please tell me again your question? Do we need to present our assignments as an essay? You mean the assignments as a report writing? You mean the introduction, assignment body, and conclusion? No, you don't have to do the introduction, bodies and conclusion. Just you do all the tasks one by one. Just keep it simple. Don't have to give the introduction, because otherwise some student will ask me what I have to write in the introduction, what I have to do in conclusion. And of course your marks will be based upon the assignment question, not for introduction and conclusion. You don't have to do this. Just do all the tasks, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. But again, you need a reference, right? If you are using a textbook, as I mentioned before, you have to give me reference in your assignments very at the end of all question 4, right? The reference list. And again, you have to use the Harvard referencing, right? Harvard referencing. So all the reference lists using the Harvard reference. So that's all about your assignment. And one thing about I'm planning to arrange your next session. I don't know whether you are willing to do any session for next week, or I give you next week without any session. I mean, do you want any session for next week? Or you just want to spend next week just your assignment, and then week later you want to start your topic 5? Please tell me next week is okay if I start topic 5, or you want topic 5 next to next week. What do you prefer? Tell me, next week or next to next? I prefer to have more time to focusing on that. Okay, all right. Next to next, okay. So next to next means next Friday. All right, next Friday is 17. All right, so next Friday, no class. All right, we don't have any class for next Friday. So you spend your whole time to do your assignments. All right. So how about next? How about on 21st of April? 21st of April. Are you free this day? Can I teach you this day? Same time, 2:30 to 5 p.m. Are you free this day? It's a Tuesday. Everybody's free on this day? We have another class. Okay. No, okay. So then maybe, so 24 is okay, right? 24 is a Friday. 24th is okay. It's a Friday. It's okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So I will see you on 24th of April. All right. And I hope maybe that time, until that time, we will be able to understand whether university will be open in May or will not open. If it's open in a May, then you're gonna have a written exam, all right, final exams in the written format. If it's not, then we will decide how can I give you final exams, all right? So idea is that now we have topic 5 left, right? So topic 5 means I'll give you 2 lectures on topic 5, right? And this will be on 24th, all right? 1 lecture for topic 5 will be on 24th, and another more likely to be on 1st of May, all right? 1st of May. So 1st of May, I will also give you final exams information, right? Final exams information. So this day we will finish topic 5 and I will give you final exams. How many questions, what type of questions, how many topics and blah, 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 right? And again, we have to, whether we have final exams or not, please don't ask me now. So we have to wait to get some university decisions, right? So once, okay, so that's all for this topic, all right? So that's all. Do you have any question? Anybody has any question? No question. If no question, then can we stop? Can we stop? Yes, okay. So we stop here. Um, good luck for your assignments, and please submit your assignments on time. Do not give me any excuse. My internet wasn't working, my computer has a problem, this and that. I don't know. I don't care. Right? So please, I don't care. You have to submit your assignments. All right? Don't give me any other excuse. No, any excuse. All right? So whatever group list I already uploaded on your learning management system, use that group student's name carefully. All right, check your name and follow the group, that group number. Do not change any group. All right, because whatever list of your group member you got it from my sites or from monitor sites, the list I uploaded, that list is a final list of your group member. All right, so please do not change your class or don't change your group member. So this group number is a uh, final list. All right, and how you gonna divide your question if you have a 3-member, 4-member, or 5 members. So please don't ask me how to divide the group, the work among all. This is your decision. All right, whether which question you're gonna do. All right, and if you think you put a lot of efforts in your assignments, then of course fill information here. All right, so you try to write down what you have done in this question. All right, so but make sure your writing do not match with the other students writing. All right, but don't copy other student efforts and you paste here. All right, and final thing, all right, that's very, very important. The final thing is, in your assignments, no, all right, no any Vietnamese word or sentence or anything, because I do not understand any word or any sentence or any information. If you give me any information, you lose your marks because I don't know, I don't understand. So the idea is only English, all right? Just English, no any. Same thing here. When you are giving your contribution here, all right? Same thing here, only English. Do not write any other contribution, I mean, anything in your Vietnamese. All right, so please don't write anything in Vietnamese. All right, so I repeat last time, whoever is this, I don't know who. So if you want to talk to anybody in Vietnamese, please send them private message. Don't write anything that I do not understand. Don't read it. If next time, if you will do that, I will block you. All right, and I will complain in the office, whoever is this. All right, so please write down only in English that I understand it. Do not write any Vietnamese thing here. If you want to send, please send private message. All right. So any other question? So no question. All right. Thank you very much. So we stop here. Now I'll see you on 24th of April. All right. Please send me email if you have any question. All right. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you.